Your life has not been an entire waste, Michael.
What does it mean?
Your entire existence is not a fraud.
You sure?
You have a purpose. Do what I say.
This went well.
Oh, were we doing a bit?
Meow, meow, meow.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine. Today we are talking about Season 7, Episode 19. Oh my god, Strange Bedfellows, which also could be, the title of this show. Mm-hmm. How's it going, Mike?
It's going good, man. Quick, funny story, but not so funny. Yesterday,
wow, can't wait.
Yesterday I woke up and I started sneezing. So I went upstairs and I took my inhaler allergy thing, which I think exacerbated whatever problem it was. I sneezed for about 5 hours. I could not stop sneezing. I thought I was gonna have to go to the urgent care, the emergency room. Luckily I OD'd on some Claritin and it pretty much stopped, but still have not figured out what happened. So
that's really strange.
But with the sneezing came just my eyes and nostrils were just, I basically was crying for 4 hours.
Yeah. Which
gave me the cry headache. So I go last night to do the stream with, somehow people show up. I don't know how. I'm so erratic with the timing and whatnot, but our people are awesome. But JD has to ask, and we're close enough he can say this, and he goes, so, you all right, buddy?
What's wrong with your face?
It looked absolutely like an atrocity. I hope if you feel like you want to see that, you can join us at patreon.com/KNM. We have lots of new patrons. Thanks, everyone, for supporting us in this last leg of the show.
I know, right here near the finale?
Yeah, so I'm doing good, man. Keith, nary a couple days, this time next week, you'll be finished with your first your performance of your show.
That's right.
Which there's still time. I don't know if there's any seats, but
yeah, there are still a few seats. You can go get them at autisticshow.com. Or if you're in the biz, hop on to TDF. You can get tickets way cheaper that way. Yeah. That's definitely the way to go. Tuesday, November 4th. But breaking news. We have been extended. We have another performance coming up on the 19th, which is great news because it's another show that's great and I can obnoxiously promote it. The problem is it's a Wednesday matinee, which is going to be hard to sell but that's okay. If there's 5 people there, it's 5 more people who get to see the show. In our opening, I definitely missed the opportunity to use the amazing pamphlet that Joshua Cronin sent both of us from to join the cult of the Paw Wraiths. He got this at a convention. It is fantastic.
Is yours printed upside down as well on the back?
No, mine's printed correctly. It's beautiful.
Mine was upside down. It's okay.
So just excellent top to bottom. Read every word of it. Really
very funny.
That.
Very funny. It's nice to be in on an inside joke that I used to not be in on.
You're so deeply into the inside joke of Deep Space Nine. It's overwhelming. So anyway, obviously we were off last week, and our schedule, at least until my show is done, is gonna be who knows. So we're gonna drop whenever we drop. Yeah. But we are not losing steam. We are just getting busy.
Last night, I was this close to just saying, you know what, y'all? Let's watch the next one. Probably actually would have helped with next week, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right.
Not how we do this. We have to. You are the uncarved block, and we have to discuss this episode from your context of not knowing what comes up next week. But you know what? You do know what comes up last week. And that is what our patrons had to say about.
We've been doing this for about 6 years. That might have been the only time you pitched to me and we correctly hit the button.
Well, that would happen much more often if I trusted you more. So
Yeah, okay.
it's usually awkward because I'm like, Mike, here it comes. You ready, Mike? Here it comes. Yeah. Tend to trust that you know where I'm going.
I don't usually. That might be the last time it happens, so enjoy it.
Yeah, well, there it is. I mean, if we get one of them right in Deep Space Nine, one right in Voyager, we'll be happy.
We'll be good.
So here's what you had to say about Till Death Do Us Part. Joshua Cronin says you can definitely feel the tension build of everything. Love these stepping stones, 84 self-sealing stem bolts from me. Oh, what happened to Strange New Show?
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry. Schedule stuff, but it gives us extra stuff to do now. Now that we can.
Well, I tell you what.
It could bridge
Deep
the gap,
Space Nine,
perhaps,
yes,
yeah.
between Deep Space Nine and Voyager, we will definitely finish that off. We have a lot of we got to clean our room before we start the new series.
Yeah.
And declutter because Lord knows after 7 seasons of this, we've made a big ol' mess.
Yeah, our Dropbox is a nightmare.
Yes, which is interestingly, you're the ADHD and I'm the autistic, but you're the one bothered by our Dropbox.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. Anyway, Brian from Video Game Drive-By says, "Hey guys, sorry I didn't comment last week. I wrote a big comment and forgot to hit send. I was distracted by celebrating turning 41. Happy birthday, Brian from Video Game Drive-By." 41, those were good times. Good young times.
That might have been too demonstrative, because 41 was okay, but...
Well, God, remember how, we celebrated both of our 40th birthdays on Oops?
Yeah.
Mine was right deep in the heart of the pandemic.
Yeah, so was mine. We both were. There's no competition. We both lost on that.
It was something. It was something. So
yeah, I turn 45 next week.
I'm already there, buddy.
I will say, Brian from Video Game Drive-By, 29 to 30, I felt like I was entering the prime of my life. 39 to 40, I sure felt like another chapter was turning.
Well, you're exiting the prime of your life. And once you're 45, the exit is well in you're on whatever the next road is.
There's some potholes on this baby.
Yeah, we did not miss that exit. We tried to, but no dice. Anyway, Brian continues. As for this episode, while not much happens this week, it's a bunch of really good character beats and further table setting from everyone. And I'm loving that we are getting more of Damar and the Wei-Yun sitcom. That's funny. And of course, Ducat and Space Karen. While typing this, I realized what this all feels like. Independence Day. That film starts with a bunch of disparate characters and it slowly brings them all closer and closer together for the big finale. And this episode is basically the aliens entering the atmosphere. And I need a Breen costume. Yeah, I haven't seen Independence Day in a long time. Go back and watch it.
A lot of it holds up.
Oh, does some of it not?
But, that said, Independence Day, and we'll not get lost on this train of thought, but Independence Day is one of those things Keith and I have talked about many times. You saw it on the big screen that when it reignited the summer blockbuster. Subsequently, you've only seen crappy cuts on USA or TBS. So if you're going to rewatch, if you're going to revisit anyone, make sure you get yourself a Blu-ray copy or one of the 4K restorations. Watch it that way with the full sound, because when you watch it on TV now, it is bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
No, I saw that in the theaters on opening weekend, and it was very impressive for the time.
Oh, when they blew up the White House, you're like, damn.
It was really impressive. So, and then started 20 years of blowing up the White House in every single summer movie.
Well, now we just blow it up.
Now we just blow it up because it's Tuesday. Little did we know. We did not. Anyway, Brian finishes. Anywho, I give this one 85 green algae paste packs. Unrelated. I thought you guys might like this. Had a random customer tell me I was woke trash for wearing my Antifa paraphernalia. What was that Antifa paraphernalia? A Discovery-era Starfleet badge on my work uniform. Red Shirts Division. All right, Hibernation Pod says, let's be honest. We all love Keith. Thanks, buddy.
Was there ever any indication we didn't?
Well, no, you said, because remember our teaser? I zapped you and you admitted that you loved me. Yeah.
I thought I was going to have to defend myself for not loving Keith enough.
No, you did. You did. You love and tolerate me more than almost any human being on the planet. And I appreciate that.
Hey, love and tolerate are not mutually exclusive.
They are not mutually exclusive. No. Hibernation continues. This is the point in the series that I just go along for the ride, as if it were a movie. Not too picky of every scene and twist and act. I just watch smoothly through with interest and enjoyment. Originally, I was not a fan of this part of Ducat's story, but I guess being older, it makes better sense to me. I am still more into the war aspect of it anyways. I think maybe, possibly, Esri was talking out loud like that in her sleep because maybe it was after the shock interrogation and torture. I think you're right. I could be wrong. I think you're right. Also, Kira wasn't much of an artist, right? She couldn't have drawn out the Breen face if she wanted to show anybody. That's true, because we talk about how, like, Kira definitely saw the Breen, but yeah, it would be like that's what. Oh, you'll never see it. That's what Kira could come up with. It's just a stick figure. Although Kira was definitely better. I know. Kira was definitely better than ZL.
Yes.
Who
used to be a character, remember that?
Yeah, well, Damar killed her, remember?
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, right. Crazy.
Man, I can't wait to talk about Damar this episode. I can't wait.
Yes. There's a lot to talk about. Lastly, Hibernation says, I don't like stilettos either. I'm with you, buddy. They make my shins sore. Ah!
The comedy is really flowing.
I forgot that was the end of the tag, but when I read that the first time, I literally laughed out loud. Well played, sir. 90 self-sealing stem bolts. YouTube viewer says, if you like to see supervillains mess with each other, I would recommend the animated works of Greg Weisman. This is masterfully done in Gargoyles, my favorite 90s cartoon featuring many of the voice actors from Next Gen. And Young Justice, my favorite 2010s cartoon. Speaking of Esri, I agree that with Mike that this romantic subplot is an uninteresting part of the story. I'd go further, it's the only bad part in an otherwise amazing episode. So this is interesting. So, quoting me, saying Julian has earned it being Esri's affection. I would think you, of all people, would be opposed to outdated and sexist trope that women are a prize for the male hero. Keith tends to see misogyny at the top of a hat. Even I believe that women aren't prizes to be awarded to deserving men. I think perhaps you're taking me a little out of context.
Well, hold on.
I'm
gonna allow you your time.
Yeah.
I also think he is adding the context of a offline conversation you and he were having.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
No, I think, honestly, like, what I meant when I said that, and I feel like it should have been clear if you were operating yes. in good faith, is that earned it in the sense that he has made himself a better person who would be worthier for a character like Dax. Mm-hmm. If Dax were to choose it, right? He has earned being worthy of Dax by improving himself as a person. Obviously, it is up to her whether she cares to take it or not. I'm just saying the product that, should she decide to consume it, has been improved. He has improved himself.
Yeah, you know what? Misogyny aside, the actual bigger problem I have with it, upon additional context of this week, is that I just wish it felt a little more organic. I do feel like they're pushing it upon us a little bit 100%. Here. Because I agree. In fact, at the end of this episode, I feel it very deeply from both of them. I'm in, and I'm interested to see how it is to either play out or become a tragedy, because both possibilities exist. I just feel like they kind of forced it down our throat a little bit and didn't need to do that.
No, well, and I think that were I rewriting this, right, we needed to resolve the Worf Dax of it all. Mm-hmm. And I think we did that in the first episode.
Yes.
Right?
I
Or
think
we could have
finally do it even more here.
Yeah, we finish it now, but that was a 3-episode arc that could have been a 1-episode
Correct.
arc. And then I would have liked to have seen Julian and Ezri connect and spend those 2 more episodes where he earns it, meaning they connect, right? That we build this connection so it's not happening off screen.
Because what Keith mentioned last week, that it's a little tropey and unrealistic that you wake up from a deep sleep and be like, I love so-and-so. That's a little BS. But what is not is when you're friend zoning with somebody and you have, like, if he was in prison with her right now,
right,
and they realize,
100%.
Oh my God, all this time you were right here. I didn't know I had these feelings. That is the thing that happens.
For sure. It's just they should be together while it happens,
Yeah.
and have that. Yes. No, because we haven't ever. We've only briefly seen Dax have any interest in Bashir. She mentions it, that like, oh, it would have been you if it weren't Worf, and we have that scene where like they were already holding hands. So like, I'm just a little unclear where they are in that relationship.
I mean, I guess we needed to get through. Well, you didn't need, but I do think there was successful sort of therapying of Worf in this episode, which I enjoy.
For sure, and I think that there was value in working through that. Here's my rewrite as I'm thinking about it. Ezri and Bashir go to rescue Worf, and the 3 of them work through this together through this experience, and that is both gets them in the same room. It's also a little bit less of a trope. It's a little more interesting. How do those dynamics play out? How do we transition from Ezri and Worf hooking up while Bashir's there to Ezri and Bashir ending the mission together? I feel like there's a way to pull that off, and it's more interesting and more dynamic. And it's not like Bashir's doing anything right now.
No. Except
he's
having
just
a
sort of
weird
hanging
face
out.
in the bar. Yeah. Sad
Yeah,
face.
he's just sort of hanging out. So that's my rewrite, folks. So get back to 1999 and start filming. Anyway, YouTube continues. There's no risk of that made me smile. My dad knew me well enough that he didn't bother setting rules on that, or maybe he just wanted grandchildren. Sorry, Dad. Well, believe me.
You're talking to the right folks.
My parents didn't sweat too hard, I'll put it that way. Also, later in the episode, agree with Keith. Ha ha ha, we did it. They are at war. They should be very worried about Ezri's safety at this point.
Yeah.
Unless Sisko and Kira also dislike Ezri. But even I don't want her to die. Yeah.
Well, and then they went from nobody knew they were missing till this week. Everybody know they're missing.
Everyone's confused. We didn't see that. It was very strange.
It was weird.
Very weird. It's a question. Pop goes the goozle.
Yes.
I do not understand that reference, and you make it all the time. Please explain. Before you explain, to be perfectly honest, I don't know what it means either. Mike, take it away.
What I believe, and listen, you should know by now, Keith and I make a joke, forget about it instantly, but then continue to make the joke. That's kind of the joke. Mm-hmm. I believe it was during the episode where we were living with Nog and Vic in Vic's program. And all the mobbies were there, and we were doing like different. We were doing the Ocean's 11 Vic world.
Okay.
And when all the mobsters come up, and Odo is trying to do some recon and like be one of them, and the sexy dancers are behind them, we made a joke like "Pop goes the goozle," as in though like an Odo erection is a goozle.
Hey, look, new things, new to me too.
Pop goes the goozle. So
every
now
time he
it's
plays
a sexual reference. Yes.
Think of Odo's member. Just think about it, roll it around in your head. You're welcome, internet. Anyway, this is a great episode, minus the Ezri parts and the plot hole of Ezri's friends not noticing her being missing. This episode sets up the stakes and sets up the mystery. 95 out of 100 bottles of rare Bajoran spring wine not given as a wedding present. Kevin Miles says, I like this episode for the Dukat-Win interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Win's turn to the dark side wasn't that far off. She just needed a catalyst, Dukat. As for Ezri's story arc so far, I don't mind it. We had 6 seasons to get to know the rest of the crew. We only have 26 episodes to get to know Esri. Yes, it's rushed, but I just grin and bear it. If you find her segments off-putting, use them as bathroom breaks. I give this episode 89 stem bolts. Yeah, fair enough.
Cool. I will say, if I can leverage that to disagree with YouTube viewer for a moment. On the stream last night, they argued the case that Nicole DeBerg is not as strong an actress as the rest of the cast, to which I say I disagree wholeheartedly. I believe she is, but the material she's been given in this truncated season for her has been like such a humongous lift and so sort of back and forth on the scale of ridiculousness that it's not a great measuring stick.
I don't take her. I think she's a perfectly good actress. I think she's a very good actress. She's just playing a character you don't like.
Fair.
And
yeah.
she's doing a good job of playing the character you don't like. That makes you a good actress and a character you don't like.
I think this week, if anything, this week is an incredible flex for her. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
JD comes in and says, wait, what are we talking about? No idea, never will, never know, never will. So, like 20 years ago, I saw the Broadway touring version of Ragtime, and I was genuinely disappointed by it. I liked the movie much better, which I know Keith will probably balk at. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really say that, and I don't know which touring version you saw. Before I slander cheap-ass non-equity tours, that's how Mike and I met.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's not the show's fault that tour sucks. JD says, ooh, I want to know who was threatening you. Let me at them. I don't know, some random
If it was a person,
bot.
It very well could have been a farm.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Keith says, it makes you a bad person if you understand that joke. Sir, you made that joke. So please tell us just how bad you are.
Pretty bad.
Oh, pretty bad. Pretty bad, we know. If either of you have seen it, hands down the best Deep Space Nine themed t-shirt is the Friends of Garrick t-shirt. I didn't make it, but I wish I had. I don't understand my life choices that I don't already have one. Just the other day, I watched a really interesting video about how religions, and more especially cults, survive getting the end of the world predictions wrong. It's a really interesting because, religions are constantly making up new rules and moving the goalposts. Yeah. Since the dawn of time. Deep Space Nine set plans are freely available online, and they say there was only one quarters set that was actually used for every single crew quarters. Cisco, O'Brien, Dax, Bashir, etc., and the wardroom. Interesting. That would make sense. The only quarters that were ever different throughout the whole series was back in Season 2 when the Grand Nagus visited and they redressed the lab set. Interesting. Blue's Clues started in 1996. The idea of a 16-year-old Mike watching it tracks. Yes, it does.
Yeah, I'm 45 now. I watch Bluey on repeat, so...
Yeah, well...
I like anthropomorphized dogs. I like preschool entertainment. I enjoy keeping it simple, man.
Fair enough. And we do it every week. So a big reason so much of the gray and brown was used during this era of Trek was because of lighting. If you ever pop into a costume discussion forum, they are constantly huge arguments about what color certain fabrics were. The gray shoulders of these uniforms are a prime example because studio lights would give them a blue hue, sometimes a purple hue, but they were just plain slate gray. By keeping uniforms in the gray-beige area, it made it easier to control the way the colors looked, and it also meant that they didn't fade as badly as the colorful uniforms. In fact, the main cast had to have their undershirts from season 5 to 7 remade every few months because they would fade out in just a few weeks of wear and washing, because they didn't use the vodka spray on Star Trek. That was their mistake. That's such a great and insightful comment, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in time.
I mean, as I got my light here, right? That because I'm blue, it makes it weird. Like I'm green now because it's a yellow light, but as it changes,
what's interesting too is that color has been a problem in film and television since time immemorial, right? Even going back to the 30s when color first started to pop, if you think to the Wizard of Oz, which is a big kind of coming out party for Technicolor, they couldn't quite figure it out, and so all those black and white segments, well, they're all shot in black and white on monochrome, but then in that scene where it transitions, they just paint the whole set and Dorothy gray. So
Right.
it's a stunt double, and then they have actual Dorothy come in a colored uniform just to because they couldn't figure it out. And to now, it's only getting more complicated. Even for a YouTube production, you got to know color scale. You got to decide: are you doing HDR? Are you not doing HDR? What's your gamma? All this crap. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah. Fascinating, but great. That does explain the gray. It really, that's really
more gray.
That's great. So in a slight defense of Wynn, she wasn't full-on villain up to this point. She was like your uncle who both sides everything and says he's a centrist at Christmas dinner. But come on January 6th, you see him at the Capitol. Oh, there are so many of them, I know. This episode is Ducat doing the whole "come to the dark side, we have cookies" bit. Keith, don't knock bringing Cheese Whiz into the bedroom. It's worth a dip. I don't remember knocking that. I enjoy a little cheese. You know what? I'll tell you exactly why. It's got nothing to do with the whiz of the cheese. It has to do with the substances in the bedroom that get sticky. Not for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stickiness is an autistic no for me. So there you go. I really love the Cisco Cassidy story. It's way better than any Ross, Rachel, Sam, Diane romances in any other series. This is another good one. 88 self-sealing stem bolts. And lastly, Ellen Gerton says, in twindelling? Okay, Mike. 85 Bajoran Guldu Cots. That's right, you did say in twindelling. I don't remember in what context.
In twindling?
I don't know. That's a...
I say a lot of shit.
Marked accurate.
I have to tell you a quick aside. I might send you this, Keith, actually. So, I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago I had to do this Schmerzy Boys, and it was...
Oh, yes.
They kind of like ChatGPT'd the script. We never rehearsed together. We barely met up. It was like a miracle that this 90 minutes happened. Well, they filmed it because we have to do it again in 2 weeks. And we were like, this time maybe we could like watch that video and like be better. So anyway, I'm watching this. Because in my head, I know how little I actually knew walking onto that stage.
Yeah.
And then I watched it back, and I'm absolutely floored that me, Mike Indeglu, as a human being, portrayed that, like, becomes that. Like, has the ability to BS that well. It kind of even boggles my mind.
Oh. I think by now, we have proven that you are a transcendent bullshitter.
It's almost like I couldn't even believe it because it exists in an ephemeral moment that is not planned and cannot be put back in the bottle. No. So the risk reward is not worth me letting it out enough. But it's pretty funny. You'll see the moments where we're looking at each other like, what are we doing? Yeah. What is next and what is now? Yeah. That enough to appreciate sitting through what is pretty terrible.
I would like to watch that terribleness.
Let's
talk about some goodness.
Yes.
In this week's episode, Strange Bedfellows, which aired on April 21st, 1999. The top song continued to be, Mike, how many scrubs would you like?
I don't want no scrubs from me.
I feel like, wow. I feel like this is the perfect moment to bring in. So the mysterious Anne and the mysterious Walter were listening to our bizarre discussion last week, which I only remembered that we had because we got the email. But about those famous things that all people know from their childhood, the lyrics which stick in our craw.
Hey, Keith and Mike, this is the mysterious Anne with a two-part voice message. So the whole mysterious household very much enjoyed your exchange about the impact of certain songs by Salt and Peppa and TLC on, let's be honest, on women my age.
It's true.
We especially liked Keith's response, and to that end, we would like you to consider this. I mean, look at this stuff. Isn't it
neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete?
Wouldn't you think I'm a girl who's got everything?
I've got gadgets and gizmos plenty.
I've got who's its and what's its galore.
What do you call? What's this?
You want thingamabobs?
Thingamabobs? I got plenty. 20. I think we have both proven your theory and proven that we're idiots.
She then goes on to bring up in West Philadelphia, born and raised, which was one that, God forbid, you grew up in Philly. You have
Let's
to
hear
know.
it. Let's hear it, Philly boy.
West Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground, I was where I spent most of my days, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Well, I was shooting some b-ball outside the school when a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got one of them fight. My mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." I pulled up to the drive. Well, then he meets the cab driver and he says, "Yo, home's to Bel Air." And then he pulls up to the drive about 7 or 8 and he yelled to the cabbie, "Yo, home, smell you later." To settle my kingdom, I was finally home. To settle my kingdom, settle my throne? To settle my throne as the Prince of Bel Air. Wow, I'm going to have to relook it up. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But
There
anyway,
it is.
that was awesome, man. Thank you.
Awesome. And thank you for that. And yeah, I gotta figure out like what are those. I mean, like for me, it's like show tunes. I'm just a dork. But
Can I quickly, completely throw you a only tangentially related thing?
What? That has never happened on the show before, or 6 times already this afternoon.
So, Entertainment Weekly recently, or not, so it popped up in my algorithm recently, had a
Are they still going?
reunion of Who's the Boss.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I thought to myself, oh, geez, I have not revisited Who's the Boss in so long. So I went back and watched the first 5 episodes of
Used to watch it back in the day, yeah.
Who's the Boss. Excellent show. Premise is actually really kind of ahead of its time. And Mona, the grandma on that show, is sort of the proto, I had learned, is sort of like the proto Golden Girls, like an older woman who is embracing her sexuality.
Wasn't she after the Golden
No.
Girls? Really?
Yeah. So, confusing, but no.
Joke's on us, she was our age.
Well, yeah. Anyway, point of my story is, the theme song to Who's the Boss is like an earworm and it's very catchy, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's also incredibly heartbreaking and so apropos to the actual theme of the show, which is not something that generally in the 80s at least theme show songs did. They were just sort of like catchy jingies. This is an incredible song. Go listen to the theme song to Who's the Boss again, is what I'm saying. Lyrically, emotionally,
okay.
It's very great.
I mean, I've got a whole bunch of jingies I need to listen to.
There's a brand new life around the bend, Keith, just letting you know.
Okay, all right. I don't think I've listened to it since it aired. Way back when. Though I probably watched it in syndication, because it wasn't on NBC?
I have no idea. Yeah.
Whatever.
I definitely did not watch it on NBC currently.
Does NBC still exist?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what they call it
confusing.
these days. Yeah.
Anyway, the top thing on celluloid this week was Life. The Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence film, which I don't think I've ever seen. It's a good thing it was a top movie, because in 1999, this Eddie Murphy comedy cost $80 million.
Wow.
That is an astounding amount of money.
Jeez. So,
Yeah.
also, just to prove that I was right to myself, Who's the Boss began airing September 20th, 1984, where Golden Girls didn't start till May of 85.
Interesting. I would have, I think probably because of the style, thought that Golden Girls was earlier than that. But who's to say? So that definitely was watching in syndication, because the show was probably done by the time I was watching it. All right, so Mike, what was on TV tonight other than those 6 other things you've mentioned already?
Yeah, let's pass that by.
Okay. I'll tell you what Voyager was doing.
Sure.
The episode Juggernaut, in which we come across a toxic waste ship. Uh-oh. So yeah, I mean, now all these Voyagers, we're going to watch this. At some point, we are going to get to that episode.
Are we going to step through and actually do time warp, and instead of doing what was on TV, we'll go back and just play clips from this show when you tell me what had been happening on Voyager?
Wow.
Let's...
Yeah, that's a thing that you would do once and then instantly forget and never do it again. Yeah.
We could probably scrape it now, but there's probably AI to do that for us.
Terrifying. Anyway,
You're right.
Mike, do you know who directed this episode?
Rene Echeverria?
You got half of it right.
Rene Auberjonois?
Auberjonois!
Can we do some
directed
PDA?
this.
Love you, honey.
Hi, Jed.
Honey, you smell great.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this was...
Okay, you guys gotta vote in the comments. Cassidy, Cisco, or Mike and Jen? Want to say it down below. Wait, I mean, I'm talking about like great on-screen relationships. That's what I'm talking about.
Down below, Cisco. Guaranteed.
Goozle.
All right, so Rene Auberjonois directed this episode, and it was written by Ronald D. Moore. And now it's time for a little more. Now keep waste your time a little less.
With trivial trivia.
Well,
So
everybody,
during-
I want to share this with everybody. Keith, you start, but let me set this up. So on our little setup here, I have a second screen that is monitoring Keith and I's base feed. So we have like a back channel conversation that is feeding into this production system. Now, just to kind of like save bandwidth, I freeze Keith's camera over here and only watch him here on the main screen. Where it froze him today is just freaking great. So what I've been looking at for the past, and we'll continue to look at for the next 3 hours, is this. This is really just so Keith. Are you ready?
I feel... Wow. Yep.
Yeah, that's about
that
right.
tracks.
Yep.
100% tracks. Pop goes the goozle indeed.
Ugh.
So, trivial trivia. Not trying to get to. So, during the composition of this episode, Ronald D. Moore's composition? I'm assuming production of this episode. Ronald D. Moore's wife went into labor a month earlier than expected, and Moore had to take a week off. This threw the writing schedule into chaos and forced Ira Stephen Bear and Hans Beimler, who were working on The Changing Face of Evil, and Rene Echeverria, who was working on Penumbra, to abandon their own episodes to complete the writing of this one. Team effort.
Yeah, collaboration.
Love that. Congratulations. That kid is now 26 years old.
You could date them.
Yes, technically, yes.
I'm
Yes.
just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
They
It
could
feels-
They could purchase a ticket to your show.
They sure could.
Meet you afterwards.
I think that's gonna be a little young for me.
We're gonna meet a patron at the show, Keith.
Okay, I hope so. That's exciting.
Yeah, I think Ms. Lubin has mentioned she's gonna come.
Oh, that's right. Awesome. All right. So the scene between Cisco and Martok, where they discuss the marriage as a battle, was added, at least in part to help pad out the running time when the episode was running short.
That was an ad lib,
Yeah.
or like a addition. That's such a great thing.
It's a great scene. Nevertheless, several scenes were scripted and filmed but did not make the final cut for the broadcast, including 2 featuring Cassidy Yates and 1 featuring Miles O'Brien. I'll have some of that in our summary.
Awesome.
So our guest stars this week are Penny Johnson as Cassidy Yates, Jeffrey Combs as Wei-Yun 7 and Wei-Yun 8, Mark Alimo as Goldie
6,
Cut.
7.
You are too old, sir.
No. That's mainstream now.
Casey Biggs as Demar, J.G. Hertzler as Martok, James Otis as Solbor, Salome Jens as the female changeling, and special guest star, always special, Louise Fletcher as Kai Wynn. You know, I don't think special is the right word. Let's go with exceptional for these people.
That would be our patrons, Keith, and I can't wait, in the void of the music that generally plays here, to express just how much I appreciate Brian Kimball Biersick, Quark's Bar, Jamie Lubin, Jason Moe, Deborah Peter, Ben Gala, Joshua Cronin, DC, Anton Thiessen, Mike, Andrew Hayes, Alan, and the Mysterious, and of course Walter and the family at Large, Worf Big Old Boot Chips, Charles Babbage, John Kelly, Keith Blank, Casey Alexander, Harry Pothead, Carl Fisher, Alan Gurton, Deborah Scott, Tren, Odo's Bucket, Lost Emu, Scotty B, Merritt Neath, Brian Woosley, AI Sausage, Yum Yum, Ben B, Miles Davis, Brian from the video game Drive By, Drink Him If You Got Him.
Welcome,
Nikolai
Miles
Alonsis.
Davis.
Yes, welcome, Miles. Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky, YouTube
Nice.
viewer, Hibernation Pod, Miri Holcomb, Rogue Knight, Fedora the Explorer, JD Makes, Colin Dagan, Chris Mitchell, Frank Renge, Pat, Joshua Cronin, Kevin Miles, Justine, Engineer Maynard, Jerome Gibson, April H., James Hubbard, Sanjil, Jamie Rayborn, welcome to the team, Fedora the Explorer, Yanba, Chanel, what's up, Laura Morrison, hey, Bob, whoa, Bowling for
Bob,
Soup.
welcome.
Yes, Bob. It's a palindrome. Bowling for Soup, Lutz Kremer, White Eldridge, Kevin Miles, Ryan Caputo, Old Guys, Eating Oatmeal, Kelly Graybeal.
Welcome, Kelly
How
Graybill.
are you? Oh my God, it feels like it's been forever. I hope you're doing good. These people have given us $100-esque adjacent to that. This is words that I'm saying out loud. We love them. You know how we know you can tell? The background is gold. And of course, there are 2 pages of them. Keith, did you know that you have 7 episodes plus a whole new series of Voyager? To join the team at patreon.com/Canon.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, it is finally time to hop into our screening room. Into some strange bedfellows.
This show this week holds 2 of Mike's biggest jaw drops of the whole series.
Really?
Yes, really.
Very
They got
exciting.
me. They got me.
Exciting. Woo, here we go. Strange Bedfellows, Season 7, Episode 19 begins with Worf and Ezri now in Dominion custody. Weyoun makes sure that they are held together because he wants to watch them play hide the two-headed targ. Weyoun also continues humiliating Damar, whose universal translator does not work with Breen. We see the female changeling, who is not doing well, but with great effort she repairs herself before meeting with the Breen.
I like that.
Such a cool little detail there.
Also, just let's get it out there. When the Breen talk, it sounds like farts. It makes me laugh every time.
Well, maybe they communicate through farts. We don't know what a Breen looks like.
I also think, like the effect is really cool that she can clean up, a little bit before being seen so nobody sees the disease. But what's cool about the performance, if you watch it, and I watched it back, you can still tell she's sick. She's still able to portray that like deep illness without showing it. It's cool.
The pain. She's in pain. Like Salome is very, very good. And it's also a very good effect. Like the digital effect of the transition was really smooth. It was really good. So apparently, the Breen and the Dominion have been negotiating a treaty for a while and plan to wipe the Federation off of the face of the galaxy. And of course, this treaty has been negotiated without Damar's knowledge or consent. So we continue chopping off Damar's, little Cardassians all throughout this episode. Will they have consequences? Let's find out. So in Act 1, Damar is super pissed also to find out that the Dominion has offered up several Cardassian planets to the Breen. Then he is completely neutered and is only a powerless figurehead. He tries to argue, but Weyoun threateningly reminds him that the Dominion owns Cardassia. Damar knows he can't win this battle, but he tries to advocate for a sector that is being attacked by the Klingons. They're outmatched and they're all gonna die. Weyoun gives it a big ol' shrug. So, folks, there's a great message here about capitulation. And, thinking that if you capitulate to the bad guy, then you can protect the things you care about or get the things that you want. Guess what? Bad guy don't give a crap.
What I like about this scene also is twofold. One, without even really, I didn't really think about the Damar implications so much, even though they're very transparent, especially where we're headed. However, what's more important here is that we've spent so long, especially with Dukat and Garrick as the figureheads of the Cardassian for us, that they sort of just like fall into like they're one of the bad guys, right?
Right.
And here, and because Garrick and Dukat 100%, and Garrick to a large extent, are really ever only out for their own self-serving needs, you don't really have a voice that is speaking on behalf of the billions of actual just Cardassian people who are...
Just like normal people, right.
Who don't have like the best existence, let's be honest. So here, to see that they're sort of being used as frontline machine gun fodder and the implications on someone who actually cares about his homeland and his people... It's refreshing and actually shows weight to that side of this. It's really great and effective for someone who only really knows the Cardassians as the baddies.
Well, and it's fascinating to watch the Cardassians go through what we began the series with them doing to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, the tables have completely flipped. They were the oppressors. They were the ones doing it, and now they are the victims, and there's always a bigger fish. And but for sure, dealing with Damar, what a complicated character.
Yeah.
Right? Who is like definitely has been heroic. He murdered ZL. He is a patriot. He's also a patriot for a thing that's been pretty crappy, and it's really fascinating. And especially as a character that began as an unnamed assistant to Dukat is now a central character in the endgame of the story.
I would think Deep Space Nine firmly establishes itself as show with the most characters who were meant as one-off nothings that became huge somethings.
Yeah, absolutely. And the greatest... I'm going to say something... I'm going to go with a hot take.
Okay.
And I may be... there are other good examples of this, but I would say, in my knowledge, there is no greater ensemble of phenomenally great guest star and guest characters in all of television. Mm-hmm. You tell me one that has this many fantastic recurring characters.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Because I was going to say, you have to kind of toss Law and Order out because every actor who's ever lived...
No, but like recurring characters. Mm-hmm. So who come in and do, or are almost main cast members, but have created this unbelievable ensemble.
100%.
So, so back on Deep Space Nine, Sisko and Martok discuss that very sector that Weyoun is sacrificing. But Martok wants to talk about Sisko's new bride. He tells a story about his wife, who somewhat horribly allowed his pet to get free and run off into the forest and die. This is a bit of a heartbreaking story. He thinks marriage is a war, even though he loves his wife. Meanwhile, Dukat and Wynn are doing some post-coital canoodling, eating fruit. They giggle like teenagers, knowing that her assistant judges them. Also, big part of that teenage love. They talk about the restoration and believe that once Bajor is reborn, she will be the leader of it. And they outline the emissary as a possible adversary. Which is interesting to see because we know what's coming at the end of this. She's already declaring the emissary an enemy before she does the turn. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting.
But that's the thing about 1,000 Tiny Cuts, right? Is in that moment, in the context of it, it seems like that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. Because clearly the hypocrisy is not known to her. He's gotten too big for his britches. Dukat refers to him as an alien, but she just sees it as serving the greater good because that's what she wants to believe.
Because she, at that point, she's fighting for what she thinks is the greater good. However, she's also a xenophobic narcissist. So, on the Dominion ship, Worf and Ezri are being hung from their feet. They're trying to figure out how to escape. I bet that was fun to film. Ugh. In Act 2, Cassidy arrives in their quarters, Ben is cooking dinner. Cassidy is discovering that being the wife of the emissary makes her a bit of a celebrity, and she's not on board with performing ceremonies and being a religious figure. She is not a believer in the prophets, and is not going to pretend that she is. Cisco says, and so the battle begins. But I like this color for Cassidy, because I think, like, it's... Just because your spouse has some fancy occupation does not mean that you necessarily need to be involved with all of it.
It's...
Ask Usha.
Well, there's a show, I think it's on Apple TV Plus, or one of those. It's called Nobody Wants This, or Nobody Needs This, or something, and it's very good. The writing is very, very funny. It's Adrian somebody, and Kristen Bell. He's a rabbi. She is not Jewish, and this encounter ensues. But the whole premise and outcome of that show is basically done better here in one scene.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yep.
Don't need to be a part of that. That's your business. As, you know, I call in favors from everyone I know.
But also, it's interesting too, because this reaffirmed, and correct me if I'm wrong, though Ben has embraced his role as the emissary, he has not become Bajoran religious, right? Like, he's not, like, I don't know that he's, do we know?
Well,
Can you be one without the other?
I think now he is closer to it. I don't think he necessarily has the exact same style of faith, but he now sees the prophets as prophets.
Okay.
As opposed to wormhole aliens. So he's playing a part more directly in the Bajoran religion, and I think he's much more on board than he ever was.
Okay.
So back in their cell, Worf and Ezri are trying to unscrew part of their bunk. They already screwed it, so now it's time to unscrew it. They're bickering about having hooked up. Worf accuses her of seducing him, and he slut-shames her.
That's funny. He sort of slut-shamed Jadzia as well.
Yeah, oh, big time.
Yeah.
This is not a good look for Worf. This whole part of Worf is, well, realistic, and I know plenty of people like
and
that.
Consistent.
And consistent. It's just not super likable. So then, Weyoun arrives and welcomes them to Cardassia Prime. That's where they've been headed. And he questions them about their mental probes. We find out that, of course, under Cardassian law, they have been found guilty and will be executed. We did this before. But then, Weyoun taunts Ezri about Bashir. So Worf instantly snaps his neck and kills him. Hilarious.
I thought it couldn't be more funny, and then Damar makes it funnier.
Because he's delighted. Even though he knows that Weyoun will just be replaced with another clone. So back on Deep Space Nine, Dukat and Wynn continue caboozling. When she has a vision from who she thinks are the prophets. And they say she is the one, and that she must embrace us. They ask for her allegiance before they reveal that they are not the prophets. They are indeed the Pah-wraiths. She is horrified. And when she gets out of her vision, Dukat pretends to be horrified as well. So in Act 3, on Cardassia, Weyoun 8 now arrives in Damar's quarters. Damar gloats. But we find that the Breen delegation has arrived, and they immediately start messing with classified Cardassian information. Weyoun overrules Damar's objections, and tells Damar that he has now been demoted below the Breen. Damar, not happy, but Weyoun tells him to fall in line or be executed himself. Meanwhile, Worf and Ezri have now began a brazen escape attempt. You're behind, buddy.
I thought we were taking it from, yes.
Took it from after that. There you go, in Act 3. This is going great. Smooth. You know, you take a week off, and you come back, and you're just smooth as all get out. Keep going. Keep going. I'm well past all of this.
Okay,
there we go.
Yeah.
There's the gloating part. He's drinking the thing. He's drinking the Canar. And he's mad about the things. He's going to tell DeMar that he's going to be executed.
Gotcha.
There it is.
Brazen attempt.
Attempt. Meanwhile, Worf and Ezri, I almost killed myself, begin a brazen escape attempt for, I believe, the 4th time in this summary. They get pretty far, taking out a couple of guards and acquiring phasers, but soon they are surrounded. Back in Quark's, apparently, O'Brien and Bashir and Quark have finally realized that Ezri and Worf are gone again. And Quark has begun a ritual of pouring Ezri's favorite drink every day, so that it's ready for her if she arrives.
So we've gone from we don't know they're missing,
right,
to they've been missing for so long we have rituals surrounding it.
We have a ritual, that's right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Bashir is super bummed and is clearly still smitten. This is sort of what we were talking about before. Like, this would be great if they were together dealing with all these feelings.
Meanwhile, instead, we just get like, I've grown accustomed to her face.
I mean, if he sang that, I've grown accustomed to her face, even though it's changing every season. I mean, like, how accustomed would it get? That's the whole thing.
We should move forward.
In Wynn's quarters, the orb of the prophecy arrives. She opens it, hoping to talk with the prophets, but is once again crestfallen not to have an orb experience. The prophets are still not talking to her. Wynn is despondent and thinks she's being rejected because she communicated with the Pah-wraiths. And this is when Dukat reveals that he is working with the Pah-wraiths. He says that the prophets have turned their back on Bajor and that they betrayed Kai Wynn by appointing an alien emissary. They're invading. He says they will give her power and adoration if she follows them, meaning the Pah-wraiths. Stop pretending to be something you're not, he says. Smart. She throws him out and collapses on the floor. So in Act 4, Wynn is still on the floor, begging for the prophets to talk to her. Have you nothing to say to me? Am I so offensive in your eyes that I don't exist anymore? She is genuinely shattered. So she calls Kira to her in the middle of the night.
So I gotta say, I'll let you in. This is the switcheroo. This is one of my first jaw drops, because I thought this was a face turn for Kai Wynn.
Ahaha.
Little did I know.
Interesting. Well, I mean, but I think it was the distress of this put her on the precipice. So she was going to fall in one direction or the other, but I think you could have fallen in the other direction if she were not so effectively nudged.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's when you are dealt a blow like this and you are forced to wrestle a little bit with your own humility in like a serious way. And I think we all have at various points in our lives. We failed at something or been humbled. I think there is a moment where you decide to accept this about yourself and grow stronger and more wise and have a better sense of what you can control and what you can't, and have some radical acceptance about it. Or you go hard denial and you push back at it, and that humbling event makes you less humble.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's this moment for her. Where you blame, it's like a looks up, right? There's something, there's a humility to that. And you can learn from this. Oh, you know what? I can't control all the things in the world. I'm not the master of all universes. This thing happened, but like, okay, I'm accepting this new reality. Or I'm awesome and she sucks. This happened because they're a problem.
And we're gonna get all of that, right?
We're gonna get all, yeah. And so she definitely chose the latter. So she calls Kira to her in the middle of the night. Kira arrives in full uniform and discovers Wynn also back in full uniform. And Wynn has some interesting things to say. She says, I have often sensed that you don't approve of how I've conducted myself as Kai. and you believe I've put my own political interests ahead of our people's spiritual well-being. I wish I could say I disagreed with that assessment. I strayed from the path the prophets laid down for me. And Kira, shocked, says, Eminence, when you told me that the prophets had spoken to you, I prayed that it would open your heart, that it would change you. And Wynn says, I want to change. I'd do anything to earn their forgiveness, but I'm afraid it's too late. Kira says, I'm not a Vedic, but it seems to me that you have to set aside the things that led you astray. Ambition, jealousy. Yes, I've given into the temptations of power. Then turn away from temptation. Yes, give yourself over to the prophets. I'll do whatever it takes to make myself worthy in their eyes. Everything will change once you step down as Kai. You'll see. There's no way down as Kai. And she says, don't you see? Once I've regained the prophet's trust, I'll be better able to serve them if I remain Kai. Kira can see what's happening. So, yeah, this is the moment where Kai Wynn's ambition overwhelms her humility. So, back on Cardassia, Damar discovers that all of the Cardassians on those planets that were being attacked by the Klingons were killed. 500,000 soldiers. He is furious. And Wei Yun, of course, couldn't care less. He snaps Damar back once again. So Damar goes back to his quarters, stares at himself in the mirror for a bit, then makes a decision. Meanwhile, Ezri and Worf keep arguing. Are you angry at me because of something I did, or because I'm not Jadzia? She asks. And she makes him confront the fact that he does not love her, Ezri, the same way that he loved Jadzia, which will free him from his weirdly puritanical idea that since they hooked up, they have to get married. So in Act 5 begins in the first draft with a cutscene in which Cassidy actually does the Bajoran ceremony, which, you know, in some ways I like, right? Because she's showing up for her spouse, she's you know, participating and trying to support him. But in other ways, I like that she doesn't do it. I like that she's, you know, she makes him respect her boundaries on that. So, you know, if I were married to somebody who was Catholic or whatever, like, I have respect absolutely for that belief, but I would feel weird taking communion if I don't believe in it myself. And I think that the healthy boundary there to travel on separately. So I see why they cut it. It's interesting. I think it's interesting either way. So then there's another cutscene in which O'Brien tells Bashir not to break Ezri's heart. So a lot is happening. I'm glad that they cut that, because that's like weird, and that feels more like what YouTube was accusing me of. Like he has some sort of agency over her, which all of this is happening as
she could
if
be dead.
They know, right? And also this is happening as if Bashir and O'Brien know what's happening with Ezri and Worf.
Yeah.
Like somehow, why all of a sudden are they talking about a possible relationship with it? I mean, yeah, I get it. Like Bashir sort of admitting that he's in love with her, but we've known that forever. We've known that since season 1.
Like they got the script, right?
It's like they got the script and like, oh, I know where we're going, so be careful. So weird. But back in the cell with Ezri and Worf, we sort of finish up this idea. And Worf says, I dishonored myself. I know how often I use that word, perhaps too often. But in this case, it is appropriate. I love that introspection with Worf, that he knows that he's... It's a little bit Worf admitting something, and it's something maybe the writers are admitting as well. From the moment I first saw you on the station, I knew that you were not Jadzia. And yet, I also knew that that a part of her was still alive within you. On Goralys, I allowed myself to see her instead of you. they agree to move on and just be friends. Thankfully. I think that's and again, if we'd gotten here in the first episode, I would be like, great, that's an important beat, that's a necessary beat. I think we just strung it along for far too long. But they're about to go die. But it turns out that the decision that Damar made was to rescue Dax and Worf all of a sudden. And he gives them a ship to escape with the message, tell the Federation they have an ally on Cardassia.
Jaw drop number 2.
Woo! Yes! I mean, we had to know that he was going to break at some point, but that changes things. That is definitely a big twist in the, so in these 2 episodes, we've had this huge power shift to the Dominion by teaming up with the Breen, and now we have this shift in the direction that we don't know how huge it is, but something's going to happen with Damar. So that's fun. So, they escape, meaning Worf and Dax, and Wei Yun has to go tell the Founder that they escaped. And so this is Damar.
Great line.
Has the amazing line, "Oh, I'm sure she'll understand. And if she doesn't, I'll look forward to meeting Wei Yun 9. Slay. Back. And here we go. So Win says, I remember the first time I saw the gate to the Celestial Temple. I was on the promenade, and when it burst into view, this whirlpool of color and light, the people around me were in awe. They were saying that they could feel the love of the prophets washing over them. Do you know what I felt? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I smiled and I pretended I did because it was expected of me. I've never admitted that to anyone. The prophets have never spoken to me, never offered me guidance, never trusted me with the fruits of their wisdom, and now I'm supposed to step down as Kai in order to be blessed by them? No. I've worked too hard, waited too long to give it all up now. The prophets have turned their backs on me. After all I've done for them, all the pain I've endured for them. I'm a patient woman, but I've run out of patience. I will no longer serve gods who give me nothing in return. I'm ready to walk the path the Paw-Wraiths have laid out for me. God says, and I'll walk with you. No one will be able to stand against us. And Win finishes with, those who dare to try, the Federation and its Vedic puppets, the false gods and their precious emissary, they'll all be swept aside like dead leaves before an angry wind.
So good. You know what it kept bringing to mind? Let them quake in their boots. Judge Turpin and the Beetle, too. Just that sort of operatic, Sweeney. Ugh.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is such it's such great villainy, but also it's earned. This turn on Win, she's been dancing on the head of a knife this whole time, and it's great. It's so satisfying to see her finally turn.
Oh, yeah. And they did a fake face turn into the double heel turn. It got me. I mean, as watcher number 1, it got me. Damar's turn got me. Just this was a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, right? Because you're going to buy that next one.
Yep. Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to watch Monday Night Raw, even though usually I don't.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. You got to find out what happens next. Yep. Let's give out some fake awards.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to go ahead and hit the button that exists
hit that
right
button.
here.
Yeah. There it is.
AlamarEmmys, there was more. AlamarEmmys, it's AlamarEmmys time.
I feel that video took a heel turn. I mean, good Lord.
Oh boy.
Let's do some best moments.
Yeah. So I actually have I don't know if this is it, but I'm going to take this moment to talk about it, and then I'll let you take the other one. Actually, so for all of the crap I've been talking on the Worf Ezri BS, their final scene
was good, right?
Was great. And it like almost made the journey, I don't want to say worth it, but tolerable. Because it's once again in the pantheon of, I've often praised the Ben Cassidy relationship and the Odo Kira relationship for being sort of outside of general television tropes, as it's heartfelt, direct communication, boundary setting, boundary observing, good relationship, healthy stuff.
Healthy stuff, yeah.
And I think this last chat was that. It was Worf saying, hey, I've acted like a D-bag. Here's why.
Yep.
I've slut-shamed Jadzia. Here's why. It's because of my grief. It's because of my this. And he also says, if I'm not mistaken, in some sort of a roundabout way, that doesn't excuse it. Right? Right. Which is great. What a great... Because generally we let dudes off the hook, right?
Explanation means excuse.
Right.
It doesn't.
And she doesn't say, I effed up too. What she said was, I accept your apology, and here's why.
Yeah, because she didn't F up.
Right. Awesome. And
yeah.
Yes, could we have used it 3 episodes ago? Totally. But, hey, you know what? Okay. It closed the loop, and, like, we could be done with it now.
Right.
And I think we are,
and ready
actually.
to move on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm ready to move on to what's next.
So good. I'm going to say that's the best moment because it sort of retcon fixed the waste of time.
Fair.
I mean, it's sort of undone by Julian's, like, his magical come to love of her, but whatever. We're just gonna let it go, and so that's I'll take that as my best moment, so we don't have to belabor it.
Yeah, well, you know, and for me, I'll sort of take the obvious, and that's Wynn's turn. But I'll say this, and I think this is the interesting part. The turn does not happen in the scene with Dukat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When she calls Dukat back, she's already made the turn.
It's Kira.
The turn is when Kira says, okay, great. All you have to do is step down. And it's that instantaneous moment where she's like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not stepping. Like, that's the turn. The turn is when she will not give up power for anything. And I just think that's Wynn. That moment of like, like I genuinely want to do the right thing. I genuinely want to regain the trust of the prophets. I want to help Bajor, but I'm not going to give up power to do it. If that's not the distillation of what Wynn is, that's Wynn. Mm-hmm. That is who she is. And I think that's a really great, razor cut of what this character is. And it's a character that is highly specific to Deep Space Nine and this character, but also it's an archetype. And it's an archetype that exists in the real world. We're seeing it in our government every single day. The compromises people make to stay in power. And I think it's incredibly timely. It's incredibly relevant. There are wins everywhere right now. And so I think that's just fascinating.
At least, it's like when Dukat made his turn at the end of season 6, I think, when he went off on a ship. Hey, listen, we don't have to agree, and I can think you're an evil person, but at least you're being honest. At least the hypocrisy has gone away now.
Well, and his line, "Stop pretending to be who you aren't,"
mm-hmm.
is incredibly insightful. Because, and you wouldn't think of Dukat being insightful, but that is exactly what she's doing. That's exactly what she's always done. She's pretending to be someone she's not.
Shall we?
Healthy. It's a healthy step forward for Wynn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Maybe.
You get some stamps. Hell yeah, they are self-sealing.
I was hoping you could clarify that.
Yeah, for sure. In the event y'all don't know that we know, I know that there are some blips and bloops in there from Keith audio-wise, and we can't figure out why it's happening. We just stop trying to fix it.
I can't help. I swallowed a robot.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
For the record,
they're delicious.
He didn't swallow it. I'm gonna just move forward and just leave that almost joke in there.
We got it. We got it. It's still in there.
Yeah. I was like, the Table Setter episodes are pretty good. Why are we all telling us to don't worry, it's gonna get better. I was like, these are great. Guess what? I get it now. So much goodness. the two turns, the Damar thing. I never look, Nog, I could sort of see. You could have pitched to me like, hey, Nog's gonna turn. In fact, I think you did. Nog's gonna actually turn out to be a pretty great character. I'd be like, all right, I could see that. If you were like, hey, Damar's gonna be pivotal, I've been like, what are we talking about? In fact, if we go back to the episode where we first started dropping Chekhov's Kanar and like the drunkard stuff, I think I couldn't have rolled my eyes harder. I was like, what are we even doing with this? Like, why are we wasting our time with Damar? Wow. And what a great mole to have, man.
Right.
So good. I have to commend that actor too. A lot of times, I think we talked about this with we talked about this with Wynn's like Vedic friend who just kept getting screen time because they were so good. I think this is a case one of those. Like, oh, he's great. All right, let's see where this character goes. And maybe I'm sure they had pitched this whoever the mole's gonna be as a million different characters. It's so great. I could see this being a way where they used Garrick, or this could have gone 100 ways. I'm so glad it went the way it went. The way they did it, perfect. The build, perfect. Even the scene of like splashing it on the thing could have been, you could say, is too much, but in this sort of opera that we're telling, it fits.
We're in an opera. Yeah.
It totally fits. And the sort of like, it's him I think it also could have been his rock bottom, where he's making a decision to be someone different now. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to be this caricature. I'm going to be different. In the same beat where Wynn is going the other way. So great. So great. In addition, once again, between Ben and Cassidy, we get a really healthy relationship kind of journey. On top of that, we get the little comedic bit of Ben with Martok.
Martok, yeah.
Where they kind of revisit marriage tropes, the ball and chain, the battle, but with tongue in cheek, and it plays itself out. And look, there's some truth to that. Listen, there are small wins and large wars and battles within any relationship. I was telling the story I've told it on the pod before. My wife and I to this day solve our deepest struggles with rock paper scissors. It's just how we've decided we're gonna an arbitrary way we're gonna make huge decisions that we can't agree on.
That's funny.
And that helps keep things lively. So I loved that addition. I thought it was really sweet. The Ezri and Worf bits, listen, they got where they were going, and it was satisfying when they did. And when they finally could have a heart-to-heart. I like that. I'm interested to see not just how it plays out with Julian, but like, what are we going to do with Worf? Where are we going to leave him?
Yeah.
Does it matter, right? All these big implications, and that's one thing this episode reminds us of. Oh, also, the other thing was they've given us so many Death Star loopholes, right? You've got the sickness amongst the founders, which I guess we could wait it out, but also, you wait too long, people who are dying get desperate, and what you don't want is desperate despots.
Yep.
In addition,
we're already pretty much there.
We're pretty much there. And then we've also got the Jem'Hadar, who we have not heard much from or heard about, but we know that they have their sort of kryptonite. And now we've got an inside job. We've got Damar, who could be feeding secrets, or we got all kinds of...
Who knows? Yeah.
So who's going to... And then, of course, on top of that, maybe none of that matters if the frickin' Pa-wraiths are going to blow us all up. So as our resistance options grow, the threat also grows. Great writing, great pacing, awesome character beats. Everybody's excellent. I'd love to see... I mean, all you got to do is bring back Keiko and Molly, and Mike's happy. I need to know that the O'Briens are okay. This was great. 95.
95. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, this is both an incredibly impactful plot episode and still kind of a table setter.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. We're building the battle of the 5 armies.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, that's where we're headed.
But you're also getting those little character, just Frodo and Sam beats.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing, because like, in order to land this plane successfully, we have to finish up the big picture, the war, but we also have to finish up these characters and these relationships. And there are so many moving pieces here that in order for this to be a successful ending of the show, we have to, none of it has to be tidy and resolved, but we have to feel like we didn't abandon all of these threads. And there are, after 7 seasons and 150 episodes, there are so many of these wonderful threads and these little nooks and crannies in this universe that all deserve to be landed. And so we're doing that. And it's really exciting to see it all come together. I mean, God, I can't even imagine what it must have felt like to be in this process of producing this and writing it and performing it and the production design, because God, the pressure must have been unbelievable. And we've seen plenty of examples of shows cracking under that pressure, and they're not doing it here. And so that's really, really exciting. So for me, we're moving forward, and I like it, and it gets 93 self-sealing stem bolts from me. So in the world, this got a 7.8. We are going to be doing the episode The Changing Face of Evil. Ooh.
Okay.
So lots to look forward to. We got 6 left, buddy.
I hope.
6
Yeah, I
left.
hope I can fix the tech for next week. It wasn't too bad, but well, you know what?
We'll sort it out.
We'll sort it out.
We've messed it up and fixed it so many times over the years. We'll do it again. I know I'm out of sync. That's okay. You know what? We stepped on a temporal problem here. There's some neutrinos flying around. They happen.
I don't want to take away from what is a great episode of Deep Space Nine, though. This was a really great episode.
Really great. So thank you, everybody, for watching in whatever timeline your eyes or ears are getting this.
And thanks for all of you who have jumped on. Well, you're not going to see this till years from now, but there are some folks that sent me a message that are starting from the get.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
People are joining all over the place. So much fun.
Much younger and less gray then.
We were such babies. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We will see you back here next week with another episode of Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine. Thank you for watching K&M Entertainment. If you enjoyed our particular brand of nonsense, please like and subscribe. Or become one of our patrons at patreon.com/KNM.